Hey, this is the final video for the our final video series for the course. It's going to be on dosage calculations. Make sure that you have your conversion sheet handy throughout this because we'll be referencing different conversion factors, and we will pay attention to this last row as well that we haven't dealt with yet. So let's start there. So sometimes when we're doing medical calculations, people will bring household measurement systems in. So for example, teaspoons, tablespoons, those sorts of things. And so those measurements have equivalents in the non-metric system and in the metric system. So a US teaspoon, for example, is 4.92892 milliliters in size. People commonly say it's about 5 milliliters though, but obviously that is an estimation that's only accurate to one significant digit. Tablespoons are 3 teaspoons, so they're 15 milliliters. Fluid ounces are 30 mils, and so on. So those are included on your table, but they aren't as accurate as the other starred measurements. They are only accurate to 1 or 2 significant digits. They're still useful though for getting us to approximate conversion. So if I have 8 fluid ounces and I want to convert to milliliters, I can do that approximately by using the conversion factor. What is it over here? That 1 fluid ounce is 30 milliliters. Setting it up so that my units cancel, I'm going to enter 8 times 30 into my calculator, and so that converts to 240 milliliters. I'm not going to worry about rounding to significant digits. We're going to leave that answer as it is because it is only an approximation, and we know that. Similarly, if I want to convert 1.5 tablespoons to milliliters, 1.5 tablespoons to milliliters, we know 1 tablespoon is 15 milliliters. So I'm going to enter 1.5 times 15 into my calculator. It comes out to 22.5 milliliters, and I'll leave that answer as it is. Again, leave your answer and do not round it. Then, as we've done with many of our other examples, try out the following practice questions. Okay, so you're going to convert 625 milliliters to cups using the household measurements, then 15.25 fluid ounces to milliliters using household conversions. The next 2 questions are a bit of challenge questions. You're going to convert 625 milliliters to cups using scientific measurement conversions. This is going to involve several different factors based on what's available on our chart. So just a reminder that to go from milliliters to cups, we're going to have to go from milliliters to liters, liters to gallons, gallons to quarts, quarts to pints, pints to cups, because the only exact or nearly exact way to go from metric to non-metric for volumes that we have is gallons to liters. Okay, after you give that a try, again, convert the 15.25 fluid ounces to milliliters as well. Pause the video and give it a shot. When you do the following conversions, you should get about 2.6 cups for the first one, 457.5 milliliters for the second. When you repeat the first example using scientific measurement conversions, accurate to 3 significant digits, we get 2.64 milliliters. And for 15.25 fluid ounces, using scientific measurement conversions, accurate to 4 significant digits, we get 451.0 milliliters. Again, we can get a sense of the error involved in our measurements by using both approaches. In the next part of our notes, we're going to look at how we can use unit factor method to do dosage calculation conversions as well. Okay. When you're doing your dosage calculations, you might be tempted to use ratios, which are something that you're comfortable in, or proportions, which are useful. However, for complicated dosage calculations, unit factors can be really great way to only have to go to our calculators once and to organize multiple steps in one easy method. So we'll go over how we can use unit factors for our dosage calculations. The first thing is that we have to realize that when we're told how much medication is in a particular form of of a medication, that is our conversion factor. So if I know there's 250 milligrams of medication in a tablet, that tells me one tablet is equivalent to 250 milligrams of medication. And so based on that equivalency, I could set up two different unit factors. If I was converting from milligrams of medication to number of tablets, I could set it up so that the tablets is in the numerator position and the 250 milligrams is in the denominator position. Or if I was going from tablets to milligrams, I could set up my conversion factor so that 250 milligrams is in the numerator position and tablets is in the denominators. Okay, we have our multi-step process for doing conversions that we're familiar with. One thing is that we're going to, again, stop rounding based on significant digits when we're doing dosage calculations, because we're often counting things like days or tablets or exact, and so significant digits don't count for them. Also, for calculating volumes for dosages, we have to think about how accurately we can measure out our dosages. Typically, if our dosage is less than 1 milliliter, we're going to round to 2 decimal places. If it's between 1 milliliter and 10 milliliters, then we'll round to 1 decimal place. Okay. So let's look at the following examples and see how our unit conversion factors can help us out. Okay, so reading the question, the patient requires 0.50 grams of the drug. The amount prescribed or required by the patient is always what we start with. So I'll write that down to begin with. Okay, the drug comes in 250 milligram tablets. Here, we're given a concentration about the drug. Remember we said before about how concentrations about medications can be used for conversion factors. So this tells me I can convert from milligrams of medication to tablets. Okay. What I'm being asked for is how many tablets should be given to the patient. So I have to go from my starting units of grams to an ending unit of tablets. We can do that by using two unit factors. The first thing I'm going to have to do is go from grams to milligrams so that I can apply my information about the concentration of medication. My second unit factor is going to let me go from milligrams of medication to tablets. Okay? To go from milligrams to grams, we can refer back to our conversion chart if we have to, or maybe we know this by heart now. Hopefully we know that 1 gram is equal to 1,000 milligrams. That's off the chart. Then we know that 250 milligrams of medication is in 1 tablet for this particular prescription. So to do our calculation, we enter in the initial amount prescribed, 0.50, we multiply by 1,000, and we divide by 250. Going to our calculator once, that works out to 2 tablets. Excellent. Let's move on to the second example. A cough medication is prescribed is a form of liquid syrup. The concentration of medication in this syrup is 2 grams per milliliter. The prescribed dose is 3.0 teaspoons. Calculate the dosage in milliliters. So we know the dose is 3.0 teaspoons. If we want the dosage in milliliters, we're going to do a regular conversion from teaspoons to milliliters. We ask ourselves, do we have a conversion factor for that? We sure do. We know that 1 teaspoon is equal to 5 milliliters. So I can put that in and do the calculation. 3.0 times 5, 15. So 3 teaspoons is equal to 15 milliliters. Okay, the second part of the question asks me, what mass of the drug is being given per dose? Okay, to figure out the mass of the drug, again, mass is measured in different types of grams, we're going to have to know something about the density of medication in the syrup. And we're told that there are 2 grams per milliliter in this particular medication. So I can take my dosage, 15 milliliters, and multiply by 2 grams per milliliter. Remember that 2 grams per milliliter is telling me that 2 grams of medication has 1 milliliter, or that there's 2 grams of medication for each milliliter prescribed. So we're matching it up. We know we multiply by 2 because we need our units to cancel. 15 times 2 comes out to 30 grams. An important thing to keep in mind here, whenever we're doing medical conversions or dosage calculations, we never use a conversion factor that 1 milliliter is equal to 1 gram. That was for water only, to kind of start seeing how we can go from volumes to masses. Whenever we're doing medical dosage calculations, we always have to get the information about the concentration of medication from the question. So do not use the density of water in dosage questions. With those few example questions, try your hand at the following 3 practice questions. Pause the video, think about how you might set them up, and then compare your work with the work that follows. Okay, so I think your answer should go to 4 milliliters, 50 milligrams per day, and 6 milliliters respectively. For the volume ones, you can report your answers to 1 decimal place if you want, given their size. So you could write it as 4.0 milliliters, and then you could write it as 6.0 milliliters. Okay, that's all we've got time for in this video. I'll continue on with the second video where we talk about dosage conversions from prescription and medical labels.